The first time we witnessed a human planetary defense system, our entire delegation broke protocol and fled the system. It wasn't the existence of the weapons that terrified us. Every species develops defensive capabilities. It was the scale. The sheer, impossible scale. Where our civilizations developed precise, efficient point defense systems, humans built weapons that could be seen from orbit. While we refined our targeting systems to hit smaller targets, humans simply made their weapons so large that missing became virtually impossible. Their planetary defense platforms weren't elegant needles of advanced technology. They were mountains of metal and power, jutting from their planet's surface like the spears of giants. I remember Ambassador Chen's explanation, delivered with that peculiar human expression they call a smile. Sometimes, the simplest solution is to make it bigger. We didn't understand then. How could we? Our civilizations had evolved pursuing efficiency, minimization, precision. The human approach seemed primitive, wasteful, illogical. We named them the architects of thunder, partly in fear, partly in mockery. They accepted the title with characteristic humor. But then came the swarm. The first wave hit the Centaurian worlds. Their precise defense systems, the pride of their civilization, couldn't track the microscopic invasion vessels. World after world went dark as the nanite swarms consumed everything in their path. Our most advanced weapons were useless against a threat we couldn't effectively target. The humans' response changed everything we thought we knew about them. Big guns aren't about hitting harder, explained Defense Chief Rodriguez at the Emergency Council. They're about creating effects at scale. You don't need to hit every nanite. You just need to create an environment where they can't exist. Within days, human ships arrived at the remaining Centaurian worlds. Their massive weapons didn't fire conventional projectiles. They created massive fields of electromagnetic energy, gravity waves, and other effects that simply erased swaths of space-time clean of the nanite threat. Where our precision had failed, their brute force approach succeeded spectacularly. We started to understand then. Humans hadn't built big weapons out of primitive thinking. They had recognized something fundamental about the nature of defense that we had missed in our pursuit of elegant solutions. Sometimes, the universe doesn't require a scalpel. Sometimes it needs a sledgehammer. Scale of understanding. The revelation of human weapon design philosophy sparked a renaissance in galactic military thinking. Species that had long looked down on human approaches began to see the elegant mathematics hidden behind their seemingly crude solutions. The Arxos Collective was the first to adapt human principles to their own technology. Their Stellar Guard platforms, massive energy projectors built using scaled-up versions of their traditional designs, proved capable of protecting entire star systems with minimal crew requirements. Other races followed suit, each bringing their own unique innovations to the concept of large-scale defensive systems. But it was the discovery of the ancient ruins on Proxima VI that truly validated the human approach. The massive structures, clearly weapons of some kind, had been dismissed by archaeological teams for centuries as primitive. Human archaeologists were the first to recognize their true significance. Look at the scale of these things. Dr. Sarah Martinez broadcast to the galactic academic community. They're not just weapons, they're cosmic tuning forks. The ancients understood that manipulating reality at certain scales requires tools of corresponding size. You can't play a bass note on a piccolo. The metaphor spread through the scientific community like wildfire. Suddenly, the human obsession with massive weapons made perfect sense. They had instinctively grasped a principle that the ancients had discovered millions of years ago. We should have seen it sooner. The signs were there in every massive human weapon installation. Patterns that seemed random at first glance, but revealed profound mathematical significance under deeper analysis. The humans hadn't just been building bigger weapons, they had been unconsciously recreating mathematical principles that governed the very fabric of space-time. The breakthrough came during the Helios crisis, when the local star began exhibiting signs of premature collapse. The combined scientific minds of 12 species couldn't find a solution. The quantum fluctuations defied our most advanced models. Then a junior human engineer made an observation that changed everything. The resonance patterns in our planetary defense arrays, Lieutenant Maria Santos noted, they match the quantum signatures of stellar matter at macro scale. We've basically been building giant quantum stabilizers this whole time. The revelation stunned the galactic scientific community. Human weapon designs, which we had long assumed were simply scaled-up conventional weapons, were actually massive quantum manipulation devices. Their size wasn't about power. It was about matching the wavelength of quantum effects at a stellar scale. The application of this principle saved the Helios system. By reconfiguring 6 human defense platforms into a hexagonal array, we created a quantum stabilization field that halted the star's collapse. But more importantly, we gained insight into why humans had evolved this unique approach to engineering. Your species, explained Arxos theoretical physicist First Rank 6, appears to possess an intuitive grasp of quantum harmonics. What you call gut feelings about proper scaling and weapon design are actually subconscious calculations of quantum resonance patterns. You've been doing advanced physics by instinct. This discovery led to a complete re-examination of human engineering principles. Every oversized human design was analyzed for quantum mathematical patterns. The results revolutionized our understanding of physics. Human engineers, working alongside alien scientists, began developing a new generation of devices that married human intuitive scaling with alien precision. The greatest irony was that humans had never realized what they were doing. They had simply built things at the scale that felt right, unknowingly tapping into fundamental properties of the universe that other species had missed in their pursuit of miniaturization. The void cascade appeared without warning. One moment, the Carina sector was there. The next, an expanding sphere of absolute nothingness began consuming everything in its path. Conventional weapons passed through it without effect. Shields crumbled before it. Even light seemed to die where the cascade touched space. The galaxy's greatest minds gathered to face the threat, but traditional approaches proved useless. The cascade defied known physics. It wasn't destroying matter. It was unwriting the laws of reality itself. In our darkest hour, it was the humans' primitive approach that offered hope. Dr. Chenwei's presentation to the Emergency Council changed everything. We've been thinking about this wrong. We don't need to stop the cascade. We need to remind the universe of its own laws. And for that, we need really big reminders. The plan was audacious, insane, by any rational standard. But the humans had proven their intuitive understanding of cosmic principles went beyond conventional science. Every species contributed their resources and expertise to what became known as Project Axiom. We built guns, not just big guns, weapons on a scale that made previous human designs look like toys. Constructions that spanned the space between stars, drawing power from multiple suns. The humans called them reality anchors. But they were guns in the purest sense, devices designed to project force across space. When the cascade reached the Orion Arm, we were ready. 37 reality anchors fired simultaneously, their beams intersecting at carefully calculated points. The humans had insisted on the number. It felt right to them. And we had learned to trust those feelings. The effect was beyond anything we had imagined. Where the beams met, reality itself seemed to crystallize. The cascade didn't stop. It shattered. In its place, we glimpsed something that our sensors couldn't process, but human observers all reported the same thing. The brief image of impossibly vast machinery and a sense of ancient protocols reactivating. As the cascade collapsed, we detected massive energy signatures from previously dormant ancient sites across the galaxy. The humans hadn't just saved us, they had reactivated something fundamental to the structure of our reality. The truth, when we finally understood it, was both simpler and more profound than anyone had imagined. The ancient sites weren't weapon installations at all. They were maintenance systems for the fundamental laws of physics themselves, and humans, with our inexplicable drive to build massive weapons, had been unconsciously recreating their designs. The discovery of the archive beneath Europa changed everything. The data contained within confirmed what many had begun to suspect. Humans weren't just another spacefaring species. We were the descendants of the ancients' maintenance crew. Think about it, Dr. Rodriguez explained to the Galactic Council. Every human culture has stories about giants, about massive weapons wielded by gods. We've been carrying ancestral memory all this time, trying to rebuild what we once knew how to maintain. The genetic analysis was conclusive. While other species had evolved naturally, humans had been engineered, not as warriors or conquerors, but as caretakers. Our instinct to build weapons at massive scale wasn't aggression. It was an inherited drive to maintain the tools that keep reality functioning. The ancient machinery we discovered spans galaxies, maintaining the constants that make our universe stable. The void cascade had been caused by a critical failure in one of these systems, a failure we had inadvertently fixed by building our reality anchors in precisely the right configuration. We're still processing the implications. Humanity's role in a galaxy has transformed overnight from feared weapons builders to recognized inheritors of an ancient responsibility. The very features other species once mocked, our obsession with scale, our inefficient approach to engineering, were actually buried genetic programming. Other species now work alongside us, combining their precision and efficiency with our intuitive understanding of cosmic engineering. Together, we're learning to maintain the machinery that underpins reality itself. Our giant guns weren't weapons after all. They were tools, built to a scale that matched their true purpose. As I write this, construction has begun on new maintenance facilities across the galaxy. We're building them big, of course. Not because we need to, but because that's how they're meant to be. The universe, it turns out, runs on machinery as vast as space itself. And somehow, humanity never forgot that. End record.